Hello everyone, this is Gorax and today I'm gonna show you the PvP meta teams that you've been asking for. I'm gonna show you my favorite one as well as multiple different variants that are currently OP, so you don't end up losing fights like I do in this case. And we will focus mostly on the formations that don't even use the TSSR cookies. So the first formation that I want to show you is the one that will use Re as main damage dealer. For this to work, you will need Re at 5-star. So this will allow Re to out damage pretty much everyone that you can face. This team, however, is not as tanky as you would like in PvP, but it got me to rank top 20 last season. As you can see, yes, my stars are quite high, but that's mainly because I have been pushing stages, and since my last video I did improve and I'm at stage 111. Basically, the only thing that's stopping me from progressing is sleep time. But yeah, that works really well. And the PvP team, as I said, that got me to the rank top 20 last season is the one you can see on the screen. But this is not the only team that you can run, and I'm gonna show you multiple different variants. We will start with what I believe is currently the strongest team in this meta, and that will include and will utilize Espresso Cookie. That is just doing tremendous damage. On top of that, we'll bring even more damage with Milky Way and also Rye if we can find her. There she is. This will be our main damage dealers. We will buff them using this cookie. Apologize if I forget the names of the cookies, as I've been playing so many games and the names just skip my mind, but just look at what I'm doing on the screen and that will help you. We'll bring the crowd control as well with this cookie, and then we'll add more buffers. We want one of the most OP buffing cookie, which is pomegranate, and we'll also bring in the cheesecake cookie. If you've not been using cheesecake cookie, definitely want to start using that cookie. We'll bring even more support and some even more crowd control with that cookie. Then we will use our supports. We need to boost survivability. So the way to boost survivability would be by bringing some healers. And if you have not been using that cookie, I think that's a herb cookie. Herb cookie is amazing. Oh, and they just learned something new that we can look at synergies when we actually press and hold the button. It's amazing. I didn't know about that. Let me know in the comment section down below if you knew about it. Anyway, bringing in more support, more healing to survive, and damage reduction. This would be current, I believe, top meta team, especially on my server where there's multiple people who already cleared maximum stage. We want to bring the best pets as well, the one that grants all allies attack, as well as the amp increase, skill amp increase by the hot dog. And then, similar to what you saw previously, we want to utilize ally range synergy because that's the cookies we will be using. So this is currently what most top players run. And if we look at the rankings, you'll notice obviously some people do hide their cookies, but the top player is actually using the mint cookie, but that's mainly because that player doesn't need to worry about anything. Now, if you feel like you're too squishy, you might actually use the Choco Cookie, the King Choco Cookie, if you purchased it, as that will help you with survivability. So that is the second best. I believe that's actually the best PvP team. And I did just open a few boxes to be able to play the arena, so let's have a look. Gonna use the composition that I just made and enter the fight. Obviously, most of my enemies are slightly lower power because I didn't play much arena this season yet. So I am slightly behind the competition as I've been focusing on other things. But as you can see, my HP didn't even move and I destroyed the enemies. And you can see that the top 3 damage dealers are the cookies that are only there to deal damage. Everything else is supporting us. And when it comes to the healing, you can see the herb cookie is doing similar healing to the milk cookie. So this works really well. You're really good at surviving. So let's see who's our next opponent. Team similar to mine, but the team is using the TSSR archer, who is really powerful. If you have that archer, you might build another team that I'm gonna show you a little bit later. But once again, despite us having lower star levels on our damage dealers, we are out damaging the enemies with our HP bars barely moving. That's because we have everything. We have sustain, we have damage mitigation, and we have control and damage as well. So I could easily on this account get the Milky to 10 star and finally start investing into the runes. And as I still didn't improve the runes, but I will cover the runes as a separate topic to show you what's happening. And I always like to fight against lower enemies. Is mostly what you want to do in the PvP. You want to get free tickets to get your fame level up. So I'm gonna switch to the first formation I showed you, and you can see that the enemy is way lower, but my HP bar still moved because this is not as powerful as the previous team. We only have 2 really damage sources compared to 3 previously, but we still do solid healing. If you, however, have the TSSR at higher than 3 stars at least, I would say 5 minimum, then you can run the PvP team with that archer as well as Rai as your main damage dealers. This will require both of them, as I said, at least 5 stars, I would say, to be safe. And they will just demolish enemies. There's a lot of AoE damage there. And on top of that, we will be buffing them, similarly using this cookie, cheesecake cookie. We will also use pomegranate cookie, as we should be using her pretty much everywhere. We will bring the demon cookie, the devil cookie, to apply defense penalty, as well as we'll bring back our CC again. And we will increase the damage with the dancing cookie. That's what I call her. We'll bring in the guitar cookie. As I said, I don't remember the names of them. And then we will finish it up with sustain with milky cookie, once again herb cookie, and then we'll bring in damage reduction with that one. That will be what you will be running if you have them, and your pets will once again be the attack. It will be the hot dog that will increase ally skill up. And those 2 will pretty much be used in every team you do, both PvP and PvE. And then for this team, we will instead increase the ally duration synergy rather than what we had with the previous team. And then we save it. So this might not work the best for me because I only have a 3 star and I'm expecting at least 5 star here. As you can see, similar formation, but hey, let's try it for the sake of this video. Let's see what we are against. And yeah, 10 star milk cookie and 5 star that. Recon, I have barely any chances, but look at that. My formation is superior. Also, my power is slightly higher, and despite having lower DPS, we are still winning. So this is why having a proper formation beats whales. And that's how you're gonna climb PvP ladders. Just look at that. So yeah, the 3 teams I showed you work really well. I've been using so far only this one because I was lazy to build new ones. But as I said, most meta teams will start using the espresso cookie as it's just doing so much damage. And let's try espresso cookie against this team, where there's a 10 star milky and SSR. Let's just get some tickets. I got thousands of boxes that can turn into tickets. I just don't have time. And if you watch my previous video, you can see that progressive request gave me almost 200,000 crystals by just playing the game. That's why I love this game, because I don't need to spend money to be good, and I have progression constantly. So let's try this enemy. And in the comment section down below, let me know if you've been improving your PvP teams. What is current meta on your server as well, as I want to know it all so I can improve my teams as well. But just look at that. Okay, obviously we have slightly more power than the enemy, but star levels, we are pretty much matched here. And once again, if we look at the stats, look at the right cookie DPS, and that's why we've been using that cookie back in the PvE as well, as it is just demolishing whatever stands in its way, and maybe we'll get a stronger enemy than us this time around. So we can see if we can win. There we go, 2.5 billion, 2.5 million power. So I am at disadvantage with the power. Usually I just don't play against those enemies because I want the fame rather than the ranking. But hey, let's give it a go. This is the top 1 meta team, and just look at this. We won without a hassle, and the Ray Cookie is out damaging an 8-star TSSR. I actually had to get close to the screen to read that. 10-star Milky, 7-star Scorpio, but this is not optimal PvP team. Scorpio is a meta, but for PvE rather than PvP. And that brings us to the end, guys. Let me know in the comment section down below which of these teams do you think is the best. And once again, if you want more guides for the CookieRun Crumble, subscribe to this channel, like this video to let me know you actually enjoyed it, and stay safe so I can see you in the next one. Bye!